Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at a very large, impactful storm in the Northeast with severe weather, strong winds, and potential for some flash flooding with some of these thunderstorms that can drop a few quick inches and to tomorrow night into Friday. So we're going to take a nice look of the satellite imagery of this. And this is a very well pronounced storm. I mean, if we can get uh, Epic Pen quickly, and we take a nice look at this. So now we got this all set up, and we're gonna now pause it here at this point, and we're gonna really take a nice look at this. So there is the large storm that we are talking about, and this is a very well pronounced storm. How can I tell? Is because we got a very strong low level circulating around New Orleans, Texas, Mississippi, Oklahoma area, right here. And this is going counterclockwise, so it's bringing some of that Gulf moisture, humidity into these areas that's been causing some of the severe weather the last few days. Then you could tell it rotates back with some cooler air. There it is with the low, and then we got this big arm stretch of moisture. Majority of the moisture right now is in this area of the storm, with all the severe weather and the flash flooding. This is going to continue to evolve with a strengthening low, and once the low gets to the Great Lakes, we could be talking about a 980 millibars. So that is, if you want to put it in tropical storm form, if it was out of subtropical, it would have been probably a subtropical hurricane category 2 storm, um, a strong one, or category 2. So this is going to be bringing a lot of winds and some severe weather into the Northeast. All right, so now let's take a look at some of the alerts. And there is some flash flood warnings in the Panhandle of Florida, some flood watches, Georgia, Mississippi, even some flood warnings back into New Orleans, Alabama, and then all these colors of this tannish, darkest tannish color. These are wind advisories, and you can tell we do have some wind advisories already for the Appalachian Mountains here up to 50. I do expect them to maybe add some more wind advisories across the whole Northeast. They already added some flash flood watches up in the New England, probably for 2 to 4 inches of rain. They do have some coastal warnings and advisories for 1 to 2 feet of inundation of waters, especially as you get closer to the inland. I do expect this map by tomorrow to fill up with some more flash flood watches, wind advisories, and some more severe weather. I think there is going to be some severe weather in the Northeast. I am really starting to believe that there is a chance, and we're going to be taking a look at that in today's video. So now we take a look at into tomorrow's flooding risk. There's at least a slight chance of some flooding, at least a 50% in a 25-mile radius of a point. That is in Harrisburg, Philadelphia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., back into the Appalachians, Pittsburgh, Allentown State College, Scranton, parts of New Jersey, not New York City, parts of northern New York, um, Baltimore is in it. Harrisburg down in the Appalachians is in it. Charleston, you are not. West Virginia, Ohio, you guys are all in the chances for some flooding. Then we take a look at the severe weather risk, and they do have this as a enhanced risk. Once again, enhanced risk for Ohio, West Virginia. I do expect maybe the slight risk to be more extended to the west and east. In this, I think this marginal should be all the way from New York and the slight, at least a little bit more into Pennsylvania. I do think we're gonna have some of that enough momentum for some of these thunderstorms to get to that strong. And either way, if these do become severe or not, it's going to be a windswept downpour, windswept thunderstorms. These are the winds. Now we take a look at the AccuWeather, what they are looking at for this storm, and we take a look at their latest rainfall. This is all they really have for the Northeast. They do have a general area across the Northeast seeing 1 to 2 inches of rain right here. Like for the whole northeast, pretty much 1 to 2. I do think there is some spots that could reach up to 2 to 4. In some of these downpours, it's just not precise. Um, we look at um the severe weather for the Northeast. They do have this severe weather in night parts of the Northeast and Midwest. Um, Yeah, like they said, this is the storm, some thunderstorms. I do think there's going to be some thunderstorms tomorrow, especially as you get later in the day, and depending on all the heat, there is that severe weather. 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts, especially along the beaches here. But now let's take a look at some model data. So now we're going to take a look at the HERT and NAM 3KM and see what they got for the Northeast. Um, Her is actually on the 0Z, so this actually is a huge help. There's that warm front that is kind of already beginning to go through now. I do expect maybe a rumble of thunder in some of these patches with some of the daytime heating today, but the winds will be picking up after that warm front go. Showers and I'd say showers um tomorrow night. I think tomorrow night is a pretty dry day. Some showers, so especially as you get through the night, some of the more of the showers and thunderstorms. But I do think there is going to be some stronger thunderstorms going into midnight, and some of these could be severe with 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, with some of the spots seeing 70. Um, some of these could bring heavier rains, and then you get another batch. You know, Friday morning, and you're looking at a low of a 978. So you got a very powerful low on your doorstep, and total rainfall just in that. You can tell in some spots, some of these longer prolonged thunderstorms could be up to 3 to maybe 4 inches, but a widespread at least an inch to inch and a half to even inch to 2 inches. So now let's take a look at the NAND 3 cam. That's not really out. I don't think. I can quickly check there. They only have 8 hours out, so it is not out, but we do have the 18Z. This is still pretty fresh. Some of these thunderstorms that could per night, but the NAM likes a little bit more of thunderstorm activity and more of a rain thunderstorms, and definitely that line that goes through somewhat Friday morning. And I have to admit, a 980, now these models have trended for below a 980 millibar storm. So that's even stronger, probably stronger winds, more likely of severe weather. And then you get that morning brunch, and then you get that wind behind it. So, I mean, you're looking at a 978 millibar storm to be slamming the Northeast. So that just means a lot for severe weather. So we take a look at the dew point temps, because that's going to be a very important thing. How are the dew points? You have to at least have some 60s and some at least upper 50s, and I think tomorrow it will be getting up there. I think Southern PA, Middle PA, you're going to be getting some dew points in the 60s and potentially even in the 70s. I think in this cold front, more south you go, I do think the chances for some stronger thunderstorms are really there. And with some of these stronger winds, I do think some spin up tornadoes, water spouts are very possible in this storm. Temperatures too, very warm into the 60s. Um, Potentially even getting close to the upper 60s. So there's already something in the vorticity. There's some vorticity in the storm that we will have to be careful of. Relativity, humidity is going to be really up there too. Um, the convection, the significant tornado perimeter is somewhat there. There is a shot for a little bit of significant. These are EF3s or higher, so there is a chance for some rotating thunderstorms. There is a chance for all that. Most unstable Cape and Shear. I mean, you're not really looking at that much. I mean, you're looking at some in this, but not really that much to be dealing with, if I'm being completely honest. Supercell composite. Probably some there. There's definitely some there in the storm. Right there, boom. The Echo Tops, I don't think are going to be too high. I think some of these Echo Tops could be a little bit more higher than others. Surface base. And like I said, the rainfall and the wind gust. The wind gust on this model is a little bit more or less, but they do have the winds picking up, especially tomorrow night, and you're looking at some 40s, some 30, 40 mile an hour wind gusts, even on the back side of this too. We take a look at the NAIL model, and the wind gusts are pretty strong on this too. I mean, looking at 40s up to 50, maybe up to 60 miles an hour, and this wind is going to be coming from the coastal areas. So with some of those downpours, some water spouts along the oceans are possible. Like I said, the temperatures too on the NAM into the 60s, the dew points into the 60s, upper 50s. There is a chance for some rotating thunderstorms. Most unstable Cape and Shear. There's a little bit more on the NAM 3KM, so I do think a slight risk is probably best bet if it was me. I think it will be best bet to put at least there is a chance for some supercells. Significant tornado perimeter is there too in that line. So we need to be careful on that. Total precip accumulations, like I said, in some of these thunderstorms, you're looking at maybe 1 to 3 inches. So that's very important. We could take a look at some more models, just not as high res as these two were. We could take a look at the RGEM, why not? Just for fun, like the rainfall and all that, like the low pressure. There's probably another model out. Is the Euro. Euro, you got 984, 981, 980 at that point. And I mean, that's pretty much it with the system. So I'm going to let you guys go. Talk tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed.